بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. The seerah of the Prophet عليه الصلاة والسلام, the 6th year after Hijrah, and episode number 99. A very, perhaps the most significant event that takes place in this year after Hijrah, and as a matter of fact, one of the most significant events that takes place in the entire history of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's noble, auspicious biography, an incident known as Umratul Hudaybiyah. This incident takes place on a Monday, is when the Sahaba radiallahu anhum along with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam begin their march, or they begin to set out, and it takes place on the first of the month of Dhul Qa'dah in the 6th year of after Hijrah. Now, Umrah, we all know exactly what Umrah is. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala take us again and again. We just recently received the message that alhamdulillah, inshaAllah, with of course certain protocols and certain regulations and guidelines that have to be met, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will again allow us, the foreigners, those from outside of the kingdom, to begin to perform Hajj and Umrah inshaAllah. Nevertheless, so Umrah, to perform what we also know as the small Hajj, the small pilgrimage. And if anybody ever forgets what Umrah is, remember this. This. T-H-I-S. T, Tawaf. H, Halaq, shaving of the head. I, Ihram, and S, Sa'i. Tawaf, Halaq, Ihram, and Sa'i is a complete Umrah. Two of these things are Fard, the other two are Wajib. Umrah is complete with the completion of these four deeds. So Umrah, we know Umrah, that which we perform in the Haram. And then Hudaybiyah. Hudaybiyah is actually the name of a well. And the area surrounding this well, the area in the vicinity of this well, nearby this well, later on was named Hudaybiyah. And this area here, according to the ulama, many of the ulama, is inside of the haram itself. Now the haram, we know there's the Ka'batullah al-Sharifah, which is inside of Masjidul Haram, and then we know Masjidul Haram is inside of the haram. Anyone who wishes to perform Hajj or Umrah doesn't come inside this area until and unless they are in a state of Ihram. They are in a state. Ihram is not just the wearing of two pieces of cloth for men, but it's an actual state that we come into before we enter these boundaries. Now, that is the Haram. According to many, Hudaybiyah falls into the Haram. It falls into that area, which if a person wants to be there, they have to be in a state of Ihram. And this area is approximately from Masjidul Haram, from Mecca. This is approximately 9 miles away to be exact. Nevertheless, what happens? Where does this name, or what is the significance of Hudaybiyah in the seerah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? So in this month, the month of Dhul Qa'dah, in the 6th year after Hijrah, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam sees a dream. And in this dream, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had shown him that he, along with his companions, were performing Umrah. This is a dream. And they have not returned to Medina, from Medina. They have not come to Makkah al-Mukarramah since they have been kicked out, since they had been forced to leave, and they have made the Hijrah. So in other words, 6 long years, they have had this desire to go back to their home, their city in Mecca. I mean, some of us, we belong to, our countries, Bangladesh or Sri Lanka or Afghanistan, and I finally need to go back home, and I'm going back home. Hold on. Imagine Makkatul Mukarramah. Imagine Ka'batullah al-Sharifah. Imagine performing Tawaf. Imagine all of the different places and areas there, the stations, the Zamzam. Well, Medina Munawwara has it too. But nevertheless, all of these blessings, accolades, they were kicked out. And after 6 years, they're always hoping that they could go back. Rasulullah ﷺ has seen a dream. Now when prophets see a dream, The dreams of prophets are not like ours. The dreams of a prophet are wahi. They are a form of wahi. They are divine revelation, and Allah inspires them. Rasulullah ﷺ saw the dream. He's performing Umrah, and all of the Sahaba radiallahu anhum are very excited, and they're marching towards Makkatul Mukarramah, and some of them shaved their hair. Rasulullah ﷺ saw this. Rasulullah ﷺ wakes up from this vision or this dream, and then he narrates it to the Sahaba. When the Sahaba Ridwanullahi ta'ala alayhim ajma'in hear this, they are elated. They are extremely happy. 6 years. Imagine the Muhajirin, 6 years. And even the Ansar, they've only heard about Makkah, they've heard about the Kaaba, they've heard about this and that for 6 years from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The people of Medina, they must want to visit it too. So they're very excited. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam on Monday, the 1st of Dhul Qa'dah, in the 6th year after Hijrah, he would gather the Sahaba radiallahu anhum. Some of the ulama, the majority of them said, the hadith of Bara ibn Azib in Sahih Bukhari also mentions the number 1400, 1400 Sahaba along with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. There's another narration, a couple have also mentioned, of 1500. Whether they were 1400 or 1500, regardless, we'll take 14 is the majority opinion. 1400 of the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, along with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, they would now begin their journey. And they would reach a place called Dhul Hulayfa. For those of us who know the different miqats, miqat is what the boundaries basically. There are certain places, there's Yalamlam, there's Juhfa, there's Dhul Hulayfa, there's different areas from where different people living in different places would enter the haram. They come into this area called the haram, the sanctuary. They come in from different areas. Dhul Hulayfa is also one of these. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is marching. He is going from Madinatul Munawwara towards Makkatul Mukarramah, and he is on the way, and he comes to a place called Dhul Hulayfa. When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam reaches Dhul Hulayfa, what the Sahaba radiallahu anhum along with the Prophet alayhi salatu wasallam do at that time is that they put necklaces on their camels, and they do something called shi'ar. Now shi'ar is a practice where a sign, kind of like an incision, a little hole or a little wound, just a small one as an indication, is made on an animal to inform the people, to let the people know that this is the animal of Hajj. There's a sign, kind of like a mark that is made on this animal. So the necklaces are put into the necks of the camels. Shi'ar of these different camels is also made. And the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, they would continue this journey while they've reached here in Dhul Hulayfa in the state of Ihram. From here onwards, they are now in the state of Ihram. They've reached Dhul Hulayfa. Like I mentioned, this is one of the miqats, one of the boundaries. After Dhul Hulayfa, you're in the haram. They put on the Ihram. What happens after this? A man by the name of Busr bin Sufyan radiallahu anhu, Rasulullah ﷺ would appoint him with the task of going ahead and collecting whatever information he possibly could from the Quraysh. He was appointed as a scout, espionage, kind of like an intelligence agent, to go and collect information to see what the Quraysh are up to, what's going on with the Quraysh. We've started. We've already began this journey. We have an intention to perform Umrah and nothing else. They have with them no weapons. They have no equipment that is used in battle. They have only a few blades that anybody at that time would travel with. Those that they have inside of their sheaths or the covers that they use for these knives, that whatever it is that a normal traveler would be traveling with. So they have absolutely no intention on going to war or battle or anything of that sort. They have a pure intention of performing Umrah. Rasulullah ﷺ has seen it in a dream. He has shared it with the Sahaba. They have embarked on this journey and they are hoping to reach. When Busr bin Sufyan radiallahu anhu goes to see the condition of the people, he finds out that the Quraysh have already been informed. They already know that something is happening. So they have brought an entire army together. They're starting to amass their warriors. Nevertheless, Rasulullah ﷺ continues. He moves forward in this journey until he and the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, the 1400 in number, they come to a place called Ghadir Ashtat. Here, where Rasulullah ﷺ is informed by Busr bin Sufyan radiallahu anhu that this is what they are preparing. The Quraysh, they are actually getting their people together. And this time around, when they have decided to amass their warriors, they are going to put up a fight. They aren't going to back down. They are going to attack the Muslims with full force. They are going to engage. They're going to do everything they possibly can just to stop Rasulullah ﷺ and the Sahaba of entering Mecca. They'll do whatever it takes, but they have decided and they are intent that they are not going to allow the Prophet ﷺ and the Sahaba radiallahu anhum to enter Mecca. They don't know the intention of the Prophet. They don't know what has happened. Allah has shown them the dream. They know this much. They're coming in this direction, which means they are intending on coming to Mecca. Access will not and shall not be granted. Rasulullah ﷺ had reached, he is traveling in a certain direction, on a certain route. When he hears that Khalid bin Walid, who has not accepted Islam, not only is he a non-Muslim at that time, Khalid bin Walid is a very great warrior. Khalid bin Walid, along with 200 mounted warriors, is planted. They're there in a certain place, at a place called Ghamim. And this happens to be in the direction of Rasulullah ﷺ. The moment Rasulullah ﷺ is informed that this is where Khalid bin Walid is with 200 of them, there's no way we're going to continue our journey on this way. We are going to have to take another route. We're going to change the direction. They change the direction. They continue to travel until they come to Hudaybiyah. This Hudaybiyah is where this entire incident, which is going to go on for weeks, for a few weeks, because there's a greater incident, or an incident just as great as this one, that is also related to this Umrah that they're going to perform. So Hudaybiyah is where Rasulullah ﷺ reaches now, after he makes a detour, when he realizes Khalid bin Walid, no, not a smart idea, let us instead go this way. Here is where he is now, Hudaybiyah, which is the well, and of course that entire area later on was given the name Hudaybiyah as well. So when Rasulullah ﷺ comes to this area, he decides what he will do is he will try to steer the camel to go back to Mecca, because if Khalid bin Walid is here with 200 mounted warriors, this is going to be a very big problem. So he's decided, I'm going to go back. These people, they've already informed us, our intelligence, that they are preparing to go to war. Khalid bin Walid is already here with 200 soldiers. This is a big mess. So instead what they've decided, Rasulullah ﷺ decides, we're going to go back. When he tries to steer the camel, no matter how hard he tries, the camel doesn't budge. This is Qaswa. The name of the camel is Qaswa. And the Sahaba radiallahu anhum are looking at this camel thinking, wow. And the words that, like, you know when a horse rider uses giddy up, to try to get the horse to move in this direction or that direction or stand, or the words that Rasulullah ﷺ is used, hal, like move, get up, move, what are you doing, get up, move, let's go. The camel refuses. No matter how hard Rasulullah ﷺ tries, the Sahaba radiallahu anhum try, the camel refuses. Now the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, they're getting frustrated. They pass some comments. Qaswa has become stubborn, wayward, doesn't know what it's doing, what's wrong with it? This is the camel of Rasulullah ﷺ, you have to watch it. Rasulullah ﷺ said, no, Qaswa is not stubborn. It's been ordered by Allah not to return to where we've come from. Allah has ordered Qaswa to do exactly what it's doing. Rasulullah ﷺ said, I swear by the being in whose my in whose hands my life is. وَالَّذِي نَفْسِ مُحَمَّدٍ بِيَدِهِ. I will do whatever these people ask me to honor that which will revere, which the sha'air of Islam. Whatever they ask me for, I will give it to them, but they should allow me, in other words, to perform this umrah. I saw the camel is refusing to go back. We need to perform this umrah under any circumstance. The words of Rasulullah ﷺ were to contribute to reverence of the sha'air of Islam. I am prepared to accept anything, because we're going to perform umrah. Umrah and hajj, adhan and salah, the Quran and hijab, and these things are the sha'air. Sha'air are the salient features of Islam. These things have to be held in very high regard by every Muslim. Adhan, when the adhan is called, the masjid. These are things that are features of Islam. So performing the umrah is a very, very great one. Rasulullah ﷺ has made up his mind. We're going. Regardless what they ask us, no matter what they put in front of us, we'll accept it, but we will perform this umrah. Now, Rasulullah ﷺ tapped Qaswa, gave it a little, and encouraged it to go in the other direction, continue. It got up and continues to move. They move and they move. They come to the edge of Hudaybiyah. There, the edge of Hudaybiyah, the Sahaba radiallahu anhum are camping. Extremely hot conditions. The day is very hot. And the Sahaba radiallahu anhum are extremely thirsty. And they're traveling. You can imagine. So, the little water that was inside of the well, that water is long gone. Whoever got there first, they made the use of it. That water is completely finished. There's nothing left. And Sahaba radiallahu anhum are extremely thirsty. They were lucky. They had the best person to complain to directly. They went to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said, Ya Rasulullah, look at the condition of the heat. And now there's no water for us to drink. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam removed an arrow from his quiver. And he asked them to take this arrow and stand it inside of the well. They went. They put it in. The moment this arrow was placed inside of the well, the water began to gush. And it would gush until every single one of them was slaked. They drank to their full. All 14 or 1500 of them. From nothing to 1500 of them quenched, satisfied. They continue. Rasulullah ﷺ sends a Sahabi by the name of Khirash bin Umayyah Khuza'i. He was sent by Rasulullah ﷺ to go to the people of Mecca and inform the people of Mecca, one, tell them that we have come to perform the Umrah, and two, also that those people who until now have accepted Islam, but they haven't openly declared, they're afraid. The Sahaba radiallahu anhum, the Muhajirin and Ansar, Rasulullah are all in Medina. There's still a few people who've been accepting Islam, but they're too afraid because there's the Quraysh, there's the chiefs, there's all of the enemies. Rasulullah sent him to go, Khirash radiallahu anhu, inform them, don't worry about it. A time is going to come soon when Allah will make us triumphant and Allah will give us victory. So Khirash bin Umayyah Khuza'i radiallahu anhu goes. When he comes to the people of Mecca, one, they slaughter his camel. They kill his camel. Two, they almost kill him. Now, you cannot do this anywhere. It's a universal, unwritten law. You can never kill the messenger. He was out just to go deliver a message. They killed his camel. They almost killed him. If some people would have not had come and saved his life, he would have been dead. He manages to escape. And after he escapes, he comes right back to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to inform him of exactly what has transpired. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam takes the information. Now, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam decides to send somebody else. Who? Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anhu. Go and talk to these people. We sent one, they killed his camel, they almost killed him. Umar radiallahu anhu said, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, you select me to go, I don't mind, I can't say no. However, I don't think it's best for me to go. One, you know exactly how much the people of Mecca hate me. You know how much enmity they have towards me. And you know, I have nobody in Mecca as family. So maybe it's not the best choice for me to go and take this task upon my shoulders. Instead, I have a different suggestion. Maybe you can send Uthman bin Affan. They love Uthman. Uthman radiallahu anhu, his family there, won't be a problem for him. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam liked the suggestion. This is when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam agreed to the suggestion of Umar. There's 18 places in the Quran where Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam gave an opinion. Allah agreed, where Umar bin Khattab gave an opinion, Allah agreed to his opinion and revealed verses based on his opinion. 18 places in the Quran. So when he gives an opinion, he knows what he's talking about. So he says, Ya Rasulullah, maybe Uthman bin Affan radiallahu anhu is a better decision, a better selection. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam calls Uthman bin Affan. He tells Uthman bin Affan radiallahu anhu, Uthman, go and tell the people, we are coming to do Umrah. Nothing else. We have nothing with us, absolutely no weapons, no arms, nothing. We are coming to perform Umrah, and tell those people who have accepted Islam, but they haven't exposed their Islam, that inshallah a time is going to come when Allah Ta'ala will grant us victory and Allah will make the Muslims triumphant. Uthman radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he goes on behalf of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the 1400 Muslims. They're waiting, they're here at Hudaybiyah. Uthman radiallahu anhu goes, and with him is his uncle Aban bin Sa'id radiallahu anhu, just in case something goes wrong. So the uncle and the nephew, off they go. When they begin their address to the chiefs of the Quraysh, the chiefs reply, this year we will never allow him to come to perform the Umrah. There's no way it's going to happen. However, if you, Uthman, would like to perform the Umrah, you're more than welcome to do so. Uthman radiallahu anhu replied, I will never perform Umrah without Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Access was not given to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and to the Sahaba. They're in Ihram. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has seen a dream. They heard the dream from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's mouth. They've traveled the distance. They've made it to Hudaybiyah. And now, access denied. Uthman radiallahu anhu was there. They kept him for some time. Quraysh, when they heard his response, they said, whoa, the Quraysh loved Uthman. They're not Muslims, they're enemies. But Uthman was special. Even the enemies loved him. They heard his response, they were silent. Said, wow, stay with us for some time. They just kept him there, just for an extra period of time. While Uthman radiallahu anhu was detained by them, they didn't harm him, they did nothing to him. A rumor spread in Hudaybiyah in the meantime that the Quraysh have killed Uthman bin Affan. Oh, I hate to do this, but what happens next? We'll find out on Tuesday. I'm so sorry, it's very detailed. We'll continue on Tuesday, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.